All right, welcome back to the chat. Do the names Charlie Sifford, Althea Gibson, Lee Elder, or Calvin Peete sound familiar to you? What about Tiger Woods? These are all pioneer African-American golfers who will be honored at a special celebration at the World Golf Hall and Museum. The Golf Heroes of the First Coast exhibit is open now at the historic Ritz Theater. And joining us now to tell us more about it, we welcome World Golf Hall historian Dr. Tony Parker. Thank you so much for joining us.
Being here.
Glad to be here.
Chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you are the historian there.
I am indeed.
What does that mean? Does that mean it's your job to gather all of these things and research everything, or do you just know all this stuff, or what?
Well,
what is the deal?
I'm a storyteller.
Okay.
And yeah, it is my job to research the stories behind. And what we like to do is not only highlight the careers of these great people, but to tell something about them, who they are, what they are, where they came from, and give, as Paul Harvey used to say, the rest of the story.
Yeah, there you go.
And so that's what we do. And it is my job to really dig out, really get into the history of the game, as well as the history of those individuals who made a significant contribution to the game.
Have you always been interested in the history of golf, or is this something you just kind of fell into?
I'm a golf freak.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
I can
Voracious
tell by your
reader.
watch.
Oh, yeah, well, I've got, it's a golf ball.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well spotted, by the way. Yeah.
I peeped you out.
Oh, there
I'm
you go.
looking-
There you go.
So
Yeah.
this exhibit you guys have, where did this idea to even do this come from? Because I think it is amazing.
Well, in celebration of Black History Month. And a lot of people don't know that African Americans have been involved with the history of the game really in the United States from the beginning. And so we have two exhibits going. The one at the Ritz, which celebrates the heroes of the First Coast. And that goes back to the 1958, when the first challenge to segregation in Jacksonville came about on the golf course.
Really?
Yeah, it really
Which
did.
golf
Most people
course?
don't even know that.
They don't, no. Well, you had Brentwood and Hyde Park,
Okay.
which at that time were municipal courses. They were city courses. And thanks to 1954 Civil Rights U.S. Supreme Court decision, Brown versus Board of Education, where it said segregation is inherently unequal.
Right.
Therefore, 14th Amendment, all that kind of thing.
Right.
So Brentwood and Hyde Park allowed African Americans to play on 2 specified days a week, on Mondays for Brentwood, Fridays for Hyde Park. Well, 4 gentlemen from Jacksonville, Frank Hampton, Edward Norman, DeVoy Brown, and Charles M. Brown, were trying to qualify for a national tournament. And they ran out of light on the first day, so they went to Brentwood on the Tuesday morning to play, poured out their $1 green fees,
Wow.
$1,
Wow.
and they were turned away for one reason: they were black.
Yeah.
So they went over to Hyde Park, same thing. And so they petitioned the Jacksonville City Commission to desegregate, and flatly denied. So they went to federal court.
Interesting.
Took 5 years.
Wow.
5 years.
Wow, what a fight.
Yeah, finally
Wow.
to get it desegregated.
Total trailblazing.
Well, let's
on
talk
that.
about
Amazing.
this particular exhibit here, because you've brought some stuff
I brought some
that
cool
we do not want to ignore.
No, we don't. Well, like I say, at the Ritz, and which that exhibit will be running through the middle of March, and everybody really should go see it. But we talk about people like Charlie Sifford, and I'll tell you more about him in just a second. Calvin Peete, those people that you mentioned at the onset. And then, of course, at the World Golf Hall of Fame, we have a permanent exhibit called Honoring the Legacy, a tribute to African Americans in golf. And so we have to start here with Charlie Sifford. Charlie Sifford, until 1961, the PGA of America had a Caucasian-only rule. So if you were any other ethnicity other than Caucasian, you could not be a member of the PGA of America.
Okay.
Well, Charlie qualified. And so the way they initially dealt with him was to give him an approved player's card. In other words, you can play the tournaments, but you can't be a member.
Wow.
And there's his
Right
player's
here.
card right there, given to him in 1960.
This is the original card.
That's the card,
Oh, that's great.
But he was not a member. He was just approved to play.
or approved to play.
Okay.
Of course, he still met with discrimination on private courses. and
Sure.
everything. But in 1961, because of Charlie, they removed the Caucasian-only ban in 1961. And because of him, Tiger Woods can play today.
Yep.
Along with Hideki Matsuyama, every other ethnicity other than Caucasian. And so Charlie was really a pioneer and a trailblazer.
kidding.
He opened up, he was a Jackie Robinson of golf.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we celebrate him. And then from there, we even go back even further. What surprises most people is arguably the first American-born golf professional was African-American.
Really?
His name was John Shippen.
John Shippen.
John Shippen.
Never
And he
known
played in the 1896 U.S. Open Championship.
Wow.
Now, what's significant about that, not only that he played, which was significant in and of itself, but that was the same year that there was a court case called Plessy versus Ferguson, which established segregation as the law of the land.
Wow.
He played in 5 more U.S. Open championships. But he arguably is the first American-born golf professional.
Wow.
People don't know that.
Tell me about the wooden tee that you
Yes.
brought.
This
This
is
This is so cool.
pretty interesting. I mean, there are 3 vital ingredients to a game of golf. It's the golf club, the golf ball, and the golf tee.
right.
Well, until 1899, and certainly in the United States, you would usually do a small mound of damp sand. That would be your tee.
Oh, really?
Well, an African-American dentist by the name of Dr. George Grant in 1899 said he got tired of soiling his trousers with damp sand. So he patented the very first wooden tee that goes into the ground in the United States, 1899.
That is
And of course,
amazing.
that's what we use, every golfer uses on the tee box today.
Oh, yeah.
is a
So
wooden
when
tee.
he did that, was it like, what is he doing? And are we allowed to do such a thing? You know, because it was different then, right?
It was very, very much different. And the thing is, when you had people trying to invent different cups and patents and that kind of thing, this is the first one to go into the ground. And the way he put it in his description is that it would have a uniform height, so you could get your swing down right. And really, there weren't any rules on golf equipment or golf balls or anything like that until
Yeah.
1909.
Oh, okay.
So he's a good decade before any rules start coming in.
Ah.
And so once he started that, of course, the whole game changed.
Sure.
Right.
Do you have a favorite story though that you love to tell? Is there a favorite out of all of this?
Since you're a storyteller.
You are such a great
I
storyteller.
You're just
am
a
a
wealth of knowledge
storyteller.
and interesting.
Well, I mean, it depends on how far back we want to go, and it depends on how far we want to go with it. I'll tell you a good one about Calvin Peete. Calvin Peete lived in
Great
Ponte
guy.
Vedra.
Yep.
Absolutely. Calvin didn't pick up a golf club till he was 23 years old.
Wow.
Learned to play the game, became quite proficient at it.
I would say so.
And from 1979 to 1986, he was one of the winningest professionals on the tour. He won the Players' Championship in 1985. He was on the 1983 and 1985 Ryder Cup teams. First one to do that. And he won 12 PGA championships, more than any other African-American golfer, until Tiger.
Wow.
And then Tiger comes along. So there's again, these pioneers of the game, and they're here. They're here.
And they all have different stories.
They
Yeah,
do. And
that's what I love.
There's some really good ones. I
Yeah.
mean, we talk about people like Althea Gibson. You mentioned her a little
Yep.
earlier. Althea, if anybody knows anything about her, she was a tennis player. She won Wimbledon,
Yep.
and she won the 1958 U.S. Women's Open Tennis Championship. And then in 1963, she became the first African-American female to play on the LPGA.
Wow.
She went from winning Wimbledon to
Winning the
golf.
star athlete.
Hey,
You
Wow.
are literally the definition of
I
historian.
know.
You are it.
We got it.
We're going to look you up in Webster's
Dude,
and you are
oh,
this.
I
yeah.
know, I
we
love
can do
it. I love it. Well, we're out of time, unfortunately, but thank you so much. It was so
Definitely.
interesting
Thank you
to
very
have you
much.
here and tell. Now, if we go to the World Golf Hall of Fame, like, are you there telling stories or no?
I seem to live there, except when I'm out and about doing things
Okay.
like this, and I do a lot of this.
All right, so if we ask for you,
People do.
okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I'm
We know
going
to
to.
ask.
Yeah,
I don't know
you
about anybody else, but I'm going to.
Thank
so.
you, Doctor.
Well, we have some other folks there, too.
All right. Well, thank you so much. The Golf Heroes of the First Coast exhibit is going to be open at the Ritz through the end of March. For more information, visit worldgolfhalloffame.org. We're going to be right back.
Alrighty, so before we go, we want to give a big old shout out to everyone who competed or volunteered or even cheered or anything that had to do with the 26.2 this weekend. There were over 10,000 athletes hit the pavement yesterday, and it was the 10th annual to finish breast cancer. Thank you, thank you, thank you to
Great
everyone.
job,
It was
all
a
the
huge,
runners.
That's amazing.
huge
Great job.
success.
I was
See
out there
Ronald McDonald.
cheering.
Yes.
It was
yes.
wonderful.
Catch us
All
back here tomorrow,
See you tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
Bye. Today on the chat, a singles night out that will not be a drag. Plus, learning how to overcome the barriers that prevent you from realizing your true potential in life. And bedroom fashions for Valentine's Day. Join us at 3.
Yeah, around the rough and rugged rock, the ragged rascal ran. All right.